Hi everyone, my name is Cynthia Arrigo and welcome to Female Trailblazers, the film series. You're about to watch an exclusive world premiere of Ezinma and Lot 448. Female Trailblazers is a film series featuring 6 documentary shorts from Bvlgari and Tribeca studios about women by women, telling stories of pioneers, rebels, and innovators creating their own opportunities in career roles that are traditionally held by men. Lot 448 is created by an award-winning filmmaker and writer, Banditaccia. It tells the story of Linda Albertson, who is called the world's first female art detective. In this film, she attempts to return a beloved piece back to its rightful home in Rome, which is far more difficult than you might think. This is Lot 448.
The objects we leave behind become the clues to our existence. It's when one of these objects goes missing that I come into the picture. And it all starts with a tip-off. In my line of work, there's only one real enemy: time. When looted and stolen objects come up for auction, it is a race against time to seize them before they disappear again. As the CEO of the Association for Research into Crimes Against Art, I work with governments and law enforcement around the world to stop the illegal trafficking and sale of art objects. International crime syndicates, I call them art bad boys, use the sale of art and antiquities as a means to fund their criminal enterprises. Art theft is one of the most pervasive crimes in the world. I could be chasing anywhere from 15 to 50 pieces at one time. There's an item that's coming up for auction in London at an auction house. I see this as a piece that looks very, very, very suspicious. It definitely came from Italy. It definitely doesn't have an export license. No prior collection history, no shipping documents. It comes from the Ingrid McAlpine collection. These documents discusses how the McAlpines worked with Medici, buying and selling pieces back and forth.
That means that those collectors, McAlpines, bought object, the trafficker, Medici.
Yes.
Okay.
Giacomo Medici is a well-known antiquity smuggler. His operation illegally dug up precious artifacts and sold them to museums and private collectors around the world. In 2008, Medici received an 8-year sentence and was fined 10 million euros. The only provenance listed was from 1994, and sales price was $35,000. This object, currently on sale now, is estimated to be sold between £2,000 and £4,000, so significantly lower, the opposite of what normally happens. This object, to me, has a high probability of having been looted, probably from Banditaccia, because as you know, that particular area was heavily looted for more than 100 years. This piece matches 2 others from the Nye Carlsberg Glyptotek and then a 3rd piece from the John Paul Getty Museum, all of which have been restituted to Italy because they were found to have come from illicit origins. So I'm going to go out to Banditaccia and talk with our contacts out there and see if we can get the auction stopped. During my childhood, my father, who's got Native American blood, spent a lot of time explaining to us about Native peoples and their culture and what was considered sacred. Not having a lot of tangible proof of your heritage and origins can leave you a bit ungrounded. My heritage was diluted through the plunder of generations before us. It was only when I started to right those wrongs that my mission became greater. It became global. Banditaccia, which is a World Heritage Site, is believed to hold some 20,000 Etruscan tombs. As a civilization, they came before the ancient Romans. The artifacts we have found in these tombs, their jewelry, the myths that were told on the vases that were placed with the dead, each tell us something about who these people were. With so little written history of the Etruscans surviving, it is here we can find the best clues to their existence. If you had to estimate how many of the tombs here have been looted?
90%, I think. We found huge holes, about 10 meters square, very deep, to recover the antefixes and the terracottas. It was an incredible job, terrible for us, because we were there crying because we could only find fragments.
So the antefix that is coming up for auction, the paperwork that we have on that object only dates back to 1994. So for you, as an analyst on research into crimes against art, what would you think about that date?
1994 is completely suspect.
What do you think is the biggest thing we need to change to stop looting in Banditaccia?
Well, you must only change the mentality of the collectors and museums, and so it's very easy. Don't buy anything that can come from Italy without an export license from our government.
It is my hope that the documentation that we're gathering will be sufficient to say this object needs to come home. I have filed all the evidence here with the Italian Carabinieri in the hopes we can get the auction stopped in London. If the annefix is withdrawn from the auction, we will only know minutes before the sale. The antefix is lot number 448.
There are 2 withdrawn lots from the continuation now, which are lots 464 and 481. So withdrawn lots 464 and 481.
How are you feeling?
Pissed. I don't cry when I'm sad, I cry when I'm pissed. But this is not the first, it won't be the last.
Lot 442 is sold. Lot 446. And on to lot 447 at 40,000.
The next one is my girl.
Lot 448 is the terracotta antefix and can start the bidding at 2,000 to 4 to 6, £2,600. £2,600, 3,500 at £4,000. 5,000. 5,000, 6,000, 6,500, back to you there, sir. 7,000, here in London at the moment, 7,500. 8,000 is bid, but 8,500 back to New York at the moment at £8,500. And holding at £8,500 is sold paddle 3052.
Well, I mean, you can't win them all. You obviously can't win them all. To me, it's really important to honor the dead, honor the ancestors that came before us, and you win some and you lose some. You know, a lot of people think, like, well, what do you guys do over there at Arca? Like, what is this little fascination you have with these pieces that are kind of bought and sold like trinkets? but you get to know them. It's like you've stared at them for so long. You see where the paint is flaking on one side and where that ochre red still shines through. And they're like these little spirits. Some of them are sassy and some of them are, in Etruscan case, erotic. And some of them tell epic battles. And some of them are just, you know, like your mom's cooking spoon. You know, there's something special about that spoon, even if it's just a wooden spoon. The thing that always tells me that I'm home when I come to Italy is having art everywhere you go. Walking past any of the churches and the cathedrals here and just being amazed that man did that, focused on just making something beautiful. Art is for everyone, but most importantly, it is for the people whose culture created it. Sometimes what appears to be a loss can turn into a triumphant win. A lot of the art from the Etruscan civilization is focused on men. The epic battles, the Greek tragedies. It's nice to see an object that is so feminine in its nature and to see it come home. It's important to protect the history of the women of the past for the women of the future. My name is Linda Albertson, and I'm the CEO of ARCA, also known as the Association for Research into Crimes Against Art.
I hope you enjoyed that as much as I did. Bvlgari was actually able to purchase the artifacts and repatriate it back to Rome, so it is back where it belongs. Congratulations to Bella Monticelli, Linda Albertson, and the entire crew of Lot 448. Comment below, post in socials, and let us know what you think. And now we come to Ezinma. This next film tells the story of a woman you may have seen before, known as Classical Bae. Ezinma's mission is to bring classical music to new audiences by blending it with contemporary culture. The film was directed by Grammy-nominated filmmaker and director and writer Alison Chainik, and in this film we'll watch Ezinma, an artist and a woman of colour in a predominantly white, male-dominated space of classical music, fuse seemingly disparate genres into revolutionary soundscapes. You may have seen Ezinma in Homecoming, Beyoncé's historic Coachella set, and she's worked with many incredible artists such as Stevie Wonder, Yo-Yo Ma, Kendrick Lamar, SZA, and many more to name. She's gearing up for a highly anticipated release of her debut album, and we are all very excited to see her. This is Ezinma.
This is a local train. The next stop is 53rd Street.
Stand clear of the closing doors, please.
The way I see the world is music. Everything to me is music. I'm fascinated by sound, experimenting with what it is to be a violinist and how can we make it sound different. My music is really a fusion of popular, classical, and then a lot of hip-hop sounds, which I just love. Really just finding the perfect match between something from so long ago with something today. Enjoying walking between opposing spaces. Hip-hop and classical, you can't get any more different. I think I was 3, and I begged my parents, I have to get this violin. They surprised me with this little violin that they rented, and I was hooked. I loved it. I would play with the radio, just all this soulful, amazing music. And then, of course, from my violin studies, a lot of classical music. I'm from Lincoln, Nebraska. My dad is originally from Guyana. My mom's family is German. They were both professors. They were just different, especially for that time, in a place like that. Growing up, it was always education. I went to white privileged schools. I never ever fit in. One of my friends there was the first person to tell me I was Black. She was like, oh, your skin's not like mine. And I think being very good at the violin was the way I survived. I studied a very long time playing classical music. I was re-examining these incredible masterpieces again and again and again and again and again. It's not like you're changing much. Tradition is everything in classical. I think as I kept getting further and further, I was being told, oh, you moved too much, or why are you holding this note too long, or did you know you added a note there? My teacher told me, I can't see you in an orchestra. I can't see you in a string quartet. You would die of boredom. You're just like wild card, and I don't know what to do with you. I remember being kind of sad, like, oh, I just want to fit in. Like, again, I just don't fit in anywhere. So when I was in my master's, I took a class in production. I started to experiment. Wanting to really find a new way to present classical music. But I remember playing it for my teacher, and she was just like, why are you doing this? So I kind of just kept it to myself, kept being very private about it. But I started posting on social media and started getting a response, like the first positive response for these fusions. In 2017, my music went viral. It was absolutely insane. I posted a cover and I woke up the next day and I just had thousands of new followers. I got this message from this random person who was like, hey, my client, she loves you. Can you play with us? I Google his name and it turns out he's the producer of Beyonce. And I'm just like, what the heck? I canceled everything. I was blown away. That was just incredibly inspiring, just to see perfection, the discipline, the hard work. And after doing her Coachella performance, I came back to New York, ready to work on my own sound.
That's so cool.
This is for my project. I'm doing an EP with Universal Classics, which is awesome. Once I learned the tools of production and how to use my computer in addition to my violin, I was able to create my mashups. The super iconic, Beethoven's Fifth Symphony that everybody knows. And I found this super, super cool choir sample. Da, 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 da. I was like, this could be like really another level. And what's so cool to me is like, in so much of classical music, you have a motive. And for this piece, for Beethoven's symphony, you hear that over and over and over again in different forms. There are so few women who actually know how to use the software, know how to program beats. Just to really be confident in that space is something that's really important to me. And also to be self-sufficient. I remember this guy was like, I'll produce your album for you. And I was like, no, that's not what's gonna happen. I'm gonna learn how to produce my own music. The power of being a woman who knows what she's doing in the studio. Wanting to know the nitty-gritty details so I can communicate with the engineer. I have an idea. What would you think about having that being plucked as well?
You just da-da-dum because you already have the 3 notes that'll be audible, but maybe just outlining with the pizzicato.
Yeah, I'll try that. Even with like a delay on it or something. Like that kind of thing. And then you could pan it.
Let's just play it back. Hold on one second.
Actually sounds good. Working in these studios, you're just aware of how male-dominated the industry really is. It's empowering for a woman to come in and say, like, this is how I want you to EQ my sound. So I'm going to be about to perform here at Noy House. I'm going to be performing some stuff for my EP and just sharing it for the first time with this intimate crowd. So it's super exciting, it's going to be bomb.
Hello everyone. Today I'll be performing some songs that I've been working on for my upcoming EP. The first piece you're going to hear is my own rendition of what is, to me, one of the greatest pieces ever written, Beethoven's Fifth. Like to shed light to the masterpieces that have shaped me. A lot of the music that I use is Baroque music, which is very fiery, wild, full of life music. There was this rich Renaissance, and the birthplace is Italy. But in this age, we don't really listen to those things anymore. A lot of people don't feel comfortable. It's white, it's very older. If you grew up in the hood, you're not going to listen to classical, but you will listen to me.
It's kind of amazing what you can do with the violin. You can turn on the radio and just go to a song you like, any song you like.
For me, it's really important to show what is possible, especially for kids of color. Growing up, I learned how much you have to overcome just to find a space to exist in. I was able to really create a road that's never been paved so I could bring classical to new spaces.
What a film. I hope you enjoyed it as much as I did. Ezinma is redefining the classical music space by introducing it to children who may not have the opportunity to do so ordinarily, particularly children of colour. Check out her album and follow her on Instagram @Ezinma or on Twitter @IamEzinma. Congratulations to the filmmaker Alison Chernick, Ezinma, and the entire crew. Thank you so much for tuning in. All of the films in the Female Trailblazer series are available February the 2nd on Google Play, Prime Video, and Apple TV. I want to say a big thank you to Bvlgari and Tribeca, and don't miss the 20th anniversary of Tribeca Film Festival running from June 9th to June 20th. Once again, thank you very much for joining us. We hope you had a wonderful time.
Buonasera, good evening, and thanks really to Cynthia Erivo. She has been extraordinary for hosting this evening and helping to spotlight the story of this remarkable woman. And we love the special Bvlgari jewelry pieces, obviously, you are wearing so well. Bvlgari has embarked on a 3-year partnership with the Tribeca Film Festival as the official jeweler of that world-famous movie Rendezvous. And we are very proud to have created the Female Trailblazers collection. Now this is the 5th and 6th movies which have been created, so it's a 6-episode documentary short film series in collaboration with Tribeca Studio. Bvlgari has a powerful legacy with daring ladies in cinema, from actress Elizabeth Taylor in Cleopatra to Sharon Stone in Casino, linking the brand and its magnificent collection to some of the most iconic moments in the 7th art. And jewelry is an art, like cinema is an art. Both are recognized, and Bvlgari loves art. We are proud to support ladies innovators, feminine power, embodying the ability to pursue profession and passions that are traditionally held by men. Special thanks to you and the audience for joining us and tuning in. Don't forget to catch the Ladies Trailblazer series, the 6th ones, as we are adding 2 new ones tonight, available on selected video on-demand platform. They are amazing, and I can't myself get tired of viewing them again and again and again. So, ladies, wonderful job, and congratulations to the Tribeca Film Festival, which is really the most pioneering movie festival in the world.